Hey guys, IC Alexander here again, and today I've got something new for you guys. Something I've basically never had on my show because I don't really shoot them too much, but a high-end Nelson stock glass gun. Yay! Anyways guys, this is a Carter Buzzard, which if you've never seen one is very, very similar to a Phantom, as I'm sure you can guess. Because I mentioned it is a Nelson exactly like the Phantom, except there are a few key differences obviously. The first, as I'm sure you can see, it is side cocking, so it doesn't cock underneath the bolt like a Phantom using a pump arm that way. It actually has two screws that hold the pump arm in, and it cocks that way, although with that said it does cock around the barrel just like a Phantom does. This particular one, vertical stock glass with a bucket changer, same as a Phantom, except the bucket changer is just a little bit nicer. The overall build quality of this is just, it's a little bit nicer than a Phantom overall, but with that being said, this gun is about, conservative on the low end, about twice the price of your average Phantom, so if it's going to be twice the price of your average Phantom, well, I guess you expect twice the quality. This particular one also is a die-era Buzzard, so that's why it's got the die swing frame that you'll see on many snipers. Lots of people like them. It also has a couple modifications. This particular one is modified for a spring feed, so I could put, you put balls into there, and then just release the spring feed follower, and it feeds like a standard spring feed on any other gun. I think what else is different about this? Well, the fact and how you disassemble it too. It's a little bit harder to disassemble than a Phantom. As with the Phantom, it's just two screws and the entire gun comes apart. This one you have to undo those two screws right at the top of the vertical ASA. They hold onto something called the Buzzard collar, which also has the stock glass feed attached to it. And then once you've detached the Buzzard collar, the entire gun can basically come apart very, very simply. But there's lots more parts. There's there's this rail in between the trigger and the actual body, which isn't called a body, it's actually called a snub. Then you also have to be careful when you're reassembling, is you have to make sure there's no gap whatsoever between the valve back and the snub. If there is, you'll get all sorts of issues, from your gun not cocking to the gun actually auto-triggering or all sorts of weird stuff. Another neat feature about Carters, and I'll just have to take the barrel off to show you. First, and yes, they are cocker threaded, but no, you can't just use any cocker barrel on them without severe modifications, or sometimes easy modifications, but I'll show you why. So, here we go. So as you can see, there is a bevel in the back of that barrel. And there's a reason for that. Basic reason is this bolt, unlike a Phantom's bolt, actually interfaces directly with the barrel back. So it actually goes right into the back of the barrel when you're shooting, or when the pump is closing, rather. Now, like I said, you can use other barrels on this. The easiest way to do it is to actually put an O-ring as a spacer so the barrel doesn't thread all the way in, and then there's enough room for the pump to come forward and close, and then you can fire a shot, which isn't a bad option. With that being said, lots of people will just send these out and send them out to Palmer's and have wedges put in them, or as the previous owner in this one did, and he sent me the nail polish he was using, which is actually some very high-end stuff that he paid quite some money for at a high-end store. But it's a ceramic type he was using, and so what he did was he painted small dots of nail polish, 2 of them, in the barrel, and they act like wedges. They hold the paint in fairly well. He was shooting paint that is known to be down in the 6.82 range and still getting 290 plus FPS, so it can shoot up to speed, no problem. I know this gun for a fact on that basic paint's getting about 30 shots at 12 grams, so not as efficient as my old micro dropout Phantom. But with that said, there's a lot more quality in it, and you can just as easily adapt it to air. You just take that off and remove the top of the bucket changer, and then you could run air right into the vertical ASA. And from what I understand, this gun has absolutely no problems hitting 290 plus FPS on HPA in the middle of like January or February, so no issues there. With that said, as I mentioned before, at the end of the day, a Buzzard is just a really, really high-end Phantom. With that said, if you're like me, Phantoms are a little bit light, though I do like Nelson-based guns. They're fairly easy to work on. This particular gun weighs at least 2 or 3 times what a Phantom does, but that's not a bad thing at all. It actually gives a little bit of heft. It's similar in weight actually to, I would say it's similar in weight actually to my my Sheridan, my open class Sheridan that I showed you in my video comparing it with the Pug is actually what I traded. I traded the Pug actually to get this. So yeah, so we'll do a comparison video at some point between this and my Polymerized long barrel, just to compare how they shoot. I'm sure they'll shoot probably fairly similar, as they're both fairly high-end pump guns from, you know, specific era. Anyways, guys, this is the Carter Buzzard. If you got any questions, give me a shout. Bye.